Good afternoon, everyone. It's John Snyder here for another edition of Newton-Wellesley Medical Group Lunch and Learn. Today, we are really excited to have Lois Levine come talk to us about taking care of yourself tools for our healthcare professionals, including us. Lois, thanks again for coming. Go ahead, next slide. Just a couple of introductory slides. We want to tease the upcoming Lunch and Learns. Next week, we have Approach to Diarrhea by Dr. Daria Homenko, one of our newer gastroenterologists on staff. And this, our upcoming presenters, you can see a wide range of topics from allergy to PM&R, hand surgery, and ophthalmology. So Lois, you can see you're in fine company. As always, these talks are posted up on our website, on our intranet at Newton, and also we will get them up on the web on the YouTube. Feel free to go ahead and search Newton-Wellesley Medical Group Lunch and Learn on YouTube and pull down any of our talks over the last 2 years or so. Next slide. We wanted to tease an upcoming addiction and substance abuse disorder talk where you can get the half and half X waiver training. For those of you who have not been trained, even if you will never ever see yourself prescribing buprenorphine, this is a great talk about managing patients on chronic opioids and how to do that. It is going to be on Wednesday, June 22nd, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I understand Dr. Bereveld herself is teaching this session. So please don't miss out. Tell all your colleagues that this is a great opportunity and feel free to hop on for this great teaching. Next slide. We also wanted to remind folks that the Shipley Fitness Center is still free badge access for employees. And now we have gotten them to extend it all the way through the summer, through August 31st. If you have not been there, please come check it out. The hours are, you can't make that as an excuse. They open at 4:30, close at 10, Monday to Friday, Saturday and Sunday, all day, 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please, we just ask that you fill out a health appraisal form. If you have any questions, Daniel Destin is the man to contact. He'd be happy to tell you anything about the Shipley Fitness Center, about group exercise classes and training, personal trainers, etc. So please take advantage of this while it still lasts. Next slide. Okay, so as a lot of people are aware, our emergency department is very busy, as is our hospital. We also want to make sure our community docs know about our other alternatives for our patients. During the day, Monday to Friday, we have our Newton-Wellesley Family Medicine Walk-In Center. You do not need to be a patient of that practice. Anyone can walk in. It's located in Waltham at the Children's Hospital building. And it's Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., treating all things you would typically see in a walk-in. And these patients will be seen by one of our providers. The record will be in your chart in Epic, and they will be well taken care of. Next slide. We also, of course, have our Orthopedic Walk-In, which is very busy at 978 Worcester Street. There is a phone number there, but also, as the name says, it is a walk-in. Appointments are not needed. And the hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for those late afternoon soccer injuries on the field or injuries on the weekend, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Don't wait in the waiting room with a twisted ankle. Please come see us. We're right down the road on Route 9. You will be happier. It'll be not an emergency room copay, and you will be seen, I promise you, probably faster. Next slide. And I will stop talking. Lois, all yours. Thank you. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm Lois Levine, and I work in the Department of Psychiatry. I work on the inpatient units, teaching our patients coping skills, ways to manage stress, anxiety. I also work with Audrey and am a peer support trainer, and happy to be here with you today. So I want to share with you, start by sharing an excerpt from an article written by Catherine Floria Peepus, MD, and it's entitled Caring for Me is Caring for You, the Power of Physician Self-Care and Personal Transformation. And she writes, one a day is a multivitamin designed to promote good health. It also represents the approximate number of physicians who die by suicide daily in the United States. Even one preventable death is too many, and it is a tragedy that as health professionals, we are often not able to care for ourselves as well as we care for our patients. Many stressors contribute to the rising cycle of burnout, depression, and suicide among health professionals. Chronic stress that results from workload, the exceeding workforce, lack of time and control, and feelings of inadequacy and hopelessness are just a few of the causes. The stigma around mental health and self-care often limits professionals from seeking help or even acknowledging they need a break. Additionally, despite having the knowledge and skills to diagnose and treat others, physicians do not effectively recognize burnout in themselves. And she makes these key points. A broken system is not an excuse to not care for ourselves. It's a call for action. Physicians should consider a critical shift in thinking, one that prioritizes caring for themselves as an effective means in caring for others. And 2 strategies for self-care, including practicing mindfulness and improving physical health, are outlined in her article. And this is just a little bit more information about the work she did, and I just wanted to share that with you. But what we're going to talk about is coping skills. And we know that when we're constantly taking care of others, it's easy to neglect the importance of taking care of ourselves. It's essential to all of our overall well-beings to carve out time, as little as it may be, for some self-care and wellness. Whether you take a quick break during the day or practice some self-care after work, it is essential, and it can literally be life-saving. So coping skills, we know, really help get us through difficult times. They can give us an important break from mental and physical distress, but they will not help us unless we use them. So I'm going to talk about different types of coping skills. And the first one is mindfulness and grounding. And mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to what is happening right now in the moment without any judgment. And to be mindful, you have to slow down and pay attention to what you're doing. So you could be walking in the hallway and just noticing the colors of the walls or your feet as they make contact with the floor. So mindfulness can really provide instant relief to distract you from intense emotions in the spot, in the moment. And grounding techniques can help to bring attention away from those unhelpful thoughts or worries and refocusing on the present. So if you look at this picture, that's usually me after work with all that going on in my head. And the first thing that I do when I leave the building is I look at the sky, I look at the clouds, I look at any trees, just to bring myself to the present, to the moment, to where I am right now. And I encourage you, if you could even take a little break during your day, step outside, look out the window, do the same thing. It can be really, really helpful. And I wrote breathe with me because a very simple breathing exercise that you can practice, and there are some very, very similar, is the 5-5-5 breathing. That's all you have to remember is you take a deep breath and count to 5. And you hold that breath for a count to 5. And then you breathe out 5. Very simple, and it's just something you might want to try as you move forward. The next thing is distraction. Distracting activities are really important. Distraction are to be used in situations that you need immediate action to get your thoughts away from a crisis moment and to ease the stress by redirecting your attention away from whatever's going on into something that can be more calming, peaceful, or fun, or just different, that doesn't trigger feelings about what is stressing you. So ways to distract yourself might be conversation, listening to a podcast, reading, doing a puzzle, watching a movie. If you have more time, doing gardening, doing just something fun, whatever that is for you, whatever would be a nice distraction is important to make room for. Emotional release. So hope you're not screaming like this guy looks like he's doing right now, but emotional release is great for intense emotions that feel overwhelming or are compounded by negative emotion. This is all about getting that emotional energy out in whatever way works for you. So you can let it out by talking, by venting, doing some writing, getting creative. Other ways that you can find emotional release is to shower, to take yourself, to let yourself cry, to really crank up the music, watch something funny, vigorous exercise, or a nice walk. Just getting it out in some way that feels right for you. Self-soothing. So doing something self-soothing to make yourself feel better physically and emotionally is what's important to be able to do. And it can be almost anything. And if you look to the right of your screen, you notice that we look at all your senses, because your senses can be a really wonderful tool to activate. and to help you relieve some stress. So using some scented lotion, really, it smells nice, feels nice, lighting some candles, the smell of the candle, taking a bubble bath, cooking a special meal that smells good, buying yourself a small treat, or even something bigger is really important. But trying to look at this list and maybe find something on this list that will really help you by activating your senses. And remember, it's really important to be kind to yourself, recognize how hard you work and how much good you have done, and to take good care of yourself. So self-care, so making sure that you're eating, sleeping, exercising, all essential. Neglecting any of these areas really can cause great difficulty to function. Turn off your phones when you're not at work, or you're not on call. Stay away from all your devices. You can't take care of anyone well if you're not taking care of yourself. And also you could try, if you don't already do, is accessing your higher self. So that might mean, pondering what gives your life meaning, what's important to you. Remind yourself of what those things are. You could read something inspiring or pray, connect to your church or synagogue, do yoga, meditation, spending time in nature. Connect with others are all examples of accessing your higher self. And on this slide, you see a list of lots of apps that are really great. Some of you might already have them. You could also just go on YouTube and search for relaxation or meditation video. They're all different lengths of time. You could do a quick one for 5 minutes, as well as some of these apps. They have 3-minute, 5-minute, 10, 15-minute, whatever time that you have to get a quick little boost by doing something that's relaxing. And there's some great TED Talks out there as well. The last area that is really important is making sure that you have good support when you're feeling stressed, is to be able to reach out to a friend, a family member, a colleague, therapist, someone that you can trust and feel comfortable with. Making sure that you're spending time with positive people and avoiding people who might bring you down and not make you feel great. And there are lots of resources available, peer support, EAP, chaplains, colleagues in the Department of Psychiatry. Please reach out to myself, anybody else in my department if you are looking for more support. We're all happy to help. So I thought it might be nice to participate in a short little meditation with you. And you can either just listen, eat your lunch, or just close your eyes, whatever feels right to you in this moment. And this is a meditation that's really meant for you as a health care professional who works really hard. So we're going to just get started, and it's just for a few moments. So make sure that you're sitting really comfortably in your chair. And again, you can just listen or close your eyes if you wish. And I want to just remind you that your work is appreciated and what you do matters to everyone, and that means you. It's okay to include yourself in your care and compassion. So yes, let yourself slow down now for just a few moments. And just take a moment to notice your feet on the floor. Or maybe to feel how your breath moves throughout your body. Just noticing what it feels like to be in this moment, attending to yourself. And really take that message in. Your work matters to everyone, including you. Your health and well-being are important, but we know you work so hard and you're so busy. So self-care may not always look like a power sleep or like a leisurely lunch, but it could look like noticing your feet on the floor throughout the day, or slow belly breaths in and out as you wash your hands. Or maybe your brand of self-care looks like short affirmations or prayers as you get up each morning. Staying connected to body, higher mind, and breath can give you the important feedback you need to find balance, to know when to push harder than you ever thought you could, and when to give yourself permission to rest. It's important to pay attention. When you step up and rise to the call, don't stop listening to what is happening within. Your well-being does matter, and you won't be your best when you physically and emotionally are, your emotional well is bone dry. So know what fills your tank and do everything you can to not let it get empty. Take time daily to be with yourself, finding what fills you, including yourself in your care. Your work is appreciated, and what you're doing matters to everyone, and that means you too. You have all our gratitude for all the work that you do every day. So thank you for participating in that short meditation with me. I just want to conclude by sharing with you this study done in 2021, asking physicians how they were keeping their happiness and mental health, keeping up with their happiness and mental health. And you'll see that 68, 66, 63% spend time with family, doing activities, hobbies that they enjoy, maybe reading, cooking, gardening, and getting some exercise, and other areas that help them stay well mentally and physically. So remember that it's difficult to effectively help others if you're not mentally and physically taking care of yourself. And just monitor your own self-care habits. Take that time to take care of yourself, even if it's 5 minutes, to do something that helps you stay well will make that difference. And this is my contact information. If you would like to reach out to me at any time, I'm happy to talk with you. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Lois. That was great. We do have a couple minutes if someone wants to throw a question in the chat. If not, we can give you back 5 minutes to do your own self-meditation before your 1 o'clock session starts. I wanted to ask this one question, because I know I get this a lot from my patients, not just healthcare professionals, but they just say, I just don't have time to do that. I don't have time to walk. I don't have time to garden. All those things sound great, but I'm too busy, doc. I can't do it. It's like, what kinds of strategies have you seen used, or when you're trying to counsel patients into trying to take some of this time, and some of us do have patients who are healthcare professionals and trying to counsel colleagues in taking this time. What would you suggest?
Yeah, that's a great question. And my response to them is that there is always time. It might not be a lot of time. And sometimes what can be really helpful is to kind of take a look at your day and write it out and see where the pockets are in your day to fill it in. Make a schedule that would include all the aspects of your self-care, things you have to do like eating and showering, when you have to work, when you have to take care of your family, whatever you have to do. And if you can really outline how you spend your day or your week, I guarantee that you can find time to do something. You could even look at a calendar, look at in a week, the whole week, and just mapping out what your week looks like. There's always going to be pockets. And sometimes if you don't write it down or don't physically look at it, you're not going to see, but there's time. You can make time.
Great. Thanks. Great tips, great helpful stuff. We'll put this up on our internet and on our web, and you can refer our colleagues to that. Lois, thanks again for coming. Appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Hopefully the weather will turn for us and we can get some of that gardening and outside activity done this weekend. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.